HR and recruiters, what is an instant, well, this person isn't getting the job, thing a candidate can do during a job interview for you? Friend of a friend, call him Bob for short, got a job despite not being the best qualified candidate. Down to the final two for a teaching job. There was Bob, who was a solid, unremarkable candidate. Clearly good enough for the role but nothing special about him as a candidate. And then there was Charlie. Charlie was an absolute rock star teacher. Won awards. Young, dynamic and driven. Outstanding teaching demo. Just the nicest guy who had glowing references. Then they asked, any questions? And he replied, could you tell me if you'd have a problem with a teacher dating a student? Yes. Yes, they would. Bob got the job. When I worked in a bank as a manager. One internal candidate I interviewed put her finger in front of my face while I was talking and said, I'm gonna stop you right there. I went with the other person who didn't put their finger to my face. This guy's resume had a ton of IT skills technologies in it, and that should have been a red flag, but we didn't have many candidates for the position, so we gave him a shot. First question I asked him was, so I see you have PHP on your resume. Can you tell me what types of environments you've worked with it in? His answer was, what? I don't know that. And he didn't say it like he didn't know PHP. He said it like he'd never heard of it. When I showed him a copy of his resume, he scratched out PHP with a pen and said, my friend did my resume for me. I'll have to update that. That was the end of any consideration of hiring him. I texted the recruiter to come get him and it took them 20 minutes to get there. To be polite, we continued the interview, but it was a long 20 minutes. I don't remember everything, but every question was a train wreck. He insisted he knew Active Directory because he kept it on a USB drive he carried with him. He got a text and stared at his phone for about 10 very uncomfortable seconds and then said, hold on. This guy is trying to sell me some Windows, while he texted back. When asked what types of teams and groups he's used to working with, instead of saying, very structured, or, easygoing, he rattled off about 10 names. First names. As if we knew who they were. When we asked what that team was like, he was like, oh. You know, and then repeated the names again. Someone asked him to walk them through a typical day at his current job. I don't think he said anything about work and instead talked about his wife and his kids. Then he told us a story about a funny thing his uncle did years ago. I asked him how his work was presented to him and whether he used a ticketing system or if he used any project management software, and he said, they call me. When I asked if he meant a help desk environment, he said no, they call me at home. He couldn't elaborate on how any of that worked or what he did after they called him. He jokingly insinuated that the real reason he was trying to get this job is because he wasn't making enough money in real estate and his wife wouldn't have s** with him.